Hello, everyone. So, today I'll be talking about spirituality and art. This is the second part to our presentation. And yeah, let's talk about it. So, how did artists engage with spirituality throughout art history? Art and spirituality have had a very strong bond throughout human history. Spiritual art has been used to address humanity's most profound needs and life's greatest mysteries. Beliefs about death and an afterlife, the nature of the universe and humanity's place in it. Art has also told stories of specific religious traditions, given visual form to ideas of divinity, and provided devotional objects and settings, such as churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples for religious worship and rituals. So basically, art has had a very strong impact on, spirituality has had a very strong impact on art throughout human history. And we can see it in the forms of religious depictions in churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples because humans have had a very rich history when it comes to religion. And the basic difference between spirituality and the basic difference between the definition of spirituality and religion is that religion often refers to a more organized set of ideas and beliefs that are held by a group, while spirituality is something that's more subjective. Ancient examples include the gigantic carved Buddhas at Polonnaruwa in Sri Lanka and Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. And they are considered to be historic landmarks wherever they're present. And that just goes to show the importance of religion and how religious art has always been held with a lot of importance throughout human history. In 19th century America, belief in the sublime was transposed into transcendentalism, whose adherents believed in an ideal spiritual reality that transcended the material world. The philosophy was associated with writers such as Henry David Thoreau and David Waldo Emerson, who viewed nature, especially the American wilderness, as closer to God than more civilized places. Artists of this era whose paintings express romantic attitudes about the sublime include Frederick Edwin Church and Albert Bierstadt. American artists in the 1960s and 70s continued this transcendentalist strain of reverence for the natural world. So basically, in 19th century America, spirituality was something that held beliefs about the world that is beyond the material, beyond the physical. And the American wilderness was associated with these spiritual ideas. And the artists of that time, for example, Frederick Edwin Church, whose painting Andes depicts nature as something that is very divine. And these artists often had this romanticized, poetically romanticized views concerning the natural world. The most powerful refuge of spiritual art in the 20th century was non-objective art. Some artists who were making completely abstract works were on a quest to see if sublime art could inspire a transcendental state akin to the sublime feeling that nature could inspire. So basically, the artists who worked in the 20th century to depict spiritual art usually produced images that were more abstract and they didn't have a definite shape. Theosophy and similar philosophies that emphasize mystical experience and integrate esoteric spiritual beliefs from many sources had a profound effect on many of the pioneering abstractionists, among them Vasily Kandinsky, Kazimir Malevich, Piet Mondrian, and many more. So this art here is Piet Mondrian's Flowering Apple Tree, which depicts something that resembles a tree, but there's no definite shape to it. And she's used really dark colors, almost making it seem like a shadow. And this art can evoke a certain spiritual sense from people because it makes the audience, it makes the viewers attach their own feelings to it, since it doesn't have a shape, a proper shape of its own. The significant current of spirituality running through modern abstract art was finally highlighted and studied in 1986 in a groundbreaking and influential exhibition The Spiritual in Art Abstract Painting 1980 to 1885, and it was curated by Maurice Teichmann for the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and its accompanying catalog. So basically, this exhibition finally highlighted all the spiritual works of art that were present in modern abstract art. Increasingly since the 1990s, contemporary art has openly addressed religion and spirituality, and some influential curators and critics are paying attention to this theme. Artists are asking soul-searching questions again about the meaning of life. She, talking about Maurice Tuckman, has written extensively about contemporary artists who were raised as Catholics, including Serrano and Ophuli, as well as Kiki Smith, Joel Peter Witkin, Robert Gerber, Pera Kanye, and Janine Antoni, and how their work is inflected with religious ideas. And this image here is Pera Kanye's Untitled 1242, which is again a very abstract piece of art, which allows the viewers to attach their own meaning to what they're seeing. Materials used and their significance. So the materials used to produce a lot of spiritual art has had a lot of significance. And as with particular forms, the use of certain physical materials can signal religious or spiritual content. Luxurious materials, more expensive materials such as gold and precious jewels or colors with symbolic significance can indicate to the initiated that an image on an object holds sacred meaning. The gold background in Christophili's the Holy Virgin Mary recalls the traditional gold ground of Christian icon paintings, a representation of the sacred space and light of heaven. At the same time, Ophuli's incorporation of elephant dung within the artworks sparks mixed signals. Now, to the artist, the dung is an African symbol of fertility, but to some viewers, it is a controversial choice because dung is excrement, which can also be interpreted as an insult to the beliefs of practicing Catholics. Another interesting material used by some artists is actual light, and actual light is another material that holds significance because of its sacred associations, just as effects of light have been used in religious settings such as churches. Shining light continues to serve as a potent symbol of the divine, and the contrast of light and darkness expresses the ideas of polarity, paradox, and mystery, as it has throughout human history. And this is Gerald Richter's stained glass, which uses light and colored glass in order to present religious artwork depicting Christian imagery. Seemingly ordinary materials can also have spiritual references if placed within the right context. American artist Renee Stout incorporated many materials with symbolic and spiritual meanings in her life-size figurative sculpture Fetish 2, 1988. On one level, Stout's artwork is a self-portrait. Uh, it is made from plaster cast of the furrowed body, and it has a humanoid shape that depicts the artist. But on a deeper level, this work, as curator Lisa Fanning explains, is a boundary creature of the supernatural realm. The imposing figure is not a real depiction of the artist, but a psychic portrait that suggests a ritual object in the form of the artist's body. In this sense, viewing the body, the figure of the body, transcending the physical world into the supernatural realm, and seen as something that is very spiritual. How are artists engaging with the theme of spirituality in the period of 1980 to 2020? So, since 1980, recognizable iconography from many religions, not only Christianity, have appeared in avant-garde art, concurrent with the dramatic increase in the visibility of culturally diverse artistic voices. So, as the wide array of artists got more diverse and we started to have more representation from different backgrounds in art, we could also see more different religious depictions in art, not only Christianity, but a lot more spiritual as well as religious depictions. Mexican artist Nahum Zenil makes works on paper exploring his combined Catholic and Indian heritage. Zanille's Ex Voto, self-portrait with the Virgin of Guadalupe, 1987, bears a devotional image of the Virgin of Guadalupe, who is the patron saint of Mexico, hence a dual symbol of religious as well as national identity, with the bleeding heart pierced by a knife, the latter a reference to ancient Aztec beliefs as well as Catholicism. So, artist Petacaine employs a distinctive array of materials and forms that draw on her Catholic upbringing as well as her concentrated study of Japanese cultural traditions. We talked about her before, and this is another one of her artworks, Having Gone I Will Return, which is actually a very abstract form of art again. And the materials are very significant to her Catholic upbringing as well as her study of Japanese tradition. So, in the year 2000, Fred Tomaselli made an enormous multimedia work entitled Expulsion, whose iconography includes the lower right corner and a painted version of the Judeo-Christian motif of Adam and Eve, presented in the Bible as the first man and woman. And lastly, Francis Allei's collection of Fabiola portraits, numbering in the hundreds, is painted by amateurs and professionals alike, and it involves multiple portraits of the 4th century saint, Christian saint Fabiola. And well, that was all. Um, Sorry if I mispronounced any names, and we'll be looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.